Well, welcome back. This is a special edition of Morning Coffee because it's the afternoon already. But we have been running all day in kind of an extended time. And you know what? I got to tell you, we're going to wrap up today's show with a awesome hot topic. I couldn't wait to get this interview in. We have Amy Alpo, who is the National Geographic Traveler, editor of the National Geographic Traveler and the National Geographic Traveler magazine. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Did I brutalize that last name? Because I am bad with last names.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I said, did I brutalize that last name or is it good? How do you say the last name?
Yes, Alipio. You did it perfect, Alipio.
All right, so for you viewers out there that know I brutalized names, that was pretty good from me. You know, we brought Amy on to talk about this unbelievable book, and you can see it up on the screen, Wild, Beautiful Places, Picture Perfect Journeys Around the Globe. And I got to tell you guys, when I got this book, I felt like a little kid again. It's got phenomenal shots, pictures of all around the world. So we brought Amy on because she's an editor of, I think she was part editor of this, to talk a little bit about it. So Amy, some of the National Geographic photographers, you know, what are some of their favorite shots around the world? And, you know, I got to be honest, we were just talking about the one shot, which is my favorite from the movie Avatar, that one scene. How the heck did they get those shots?
I know. I mean, I actually haven't talked to Michael about this. The picture that you are talking about is a place in Hunan province. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
So this, it was a place that basically is, if you've seen Avatar, is the world of Pandora. And this was the inspiration for Pandora. And Michael Yamashita, a National Geographic photographer, went to this place. It's in Hunan province in China. And he took this amazing picture, and I haven't talked to him specifically about this, but it basically looks like he is floating in midair and capturing these towering cliffs. And in one side of the picture, there is this glass elevator called the 100 Dragons elevator. And it brings visitors more than 1,000 feet to the top of these cliffs. And as I said, it's kind of amazing and terrifying at the same time.
Absolutely. And you know what? As we're talking to Amy, I'm going to see if I can. I had it open right before I started the interview, and I closed my book. But I got to tell you, when you see this, it's insane. You know where it's at. I mean, just to build the house, this glass elevator takes you up to her observation thing had to be you know, unbelievable task in itself. You know, so Amy, some of the historical photos, you know, from National Geographic, you know, hallowed images. Which are the highlight of the old society exploration in rugged, distant locations, and give a glimpse into the bygone days of the exotic places? What are, you know, some of the I guess they're asking, what are some of the historical photos? What's the background of those?
Oh, well, that's one of the things that sets this book apart from some of our other books, is that we opened up the National Geographic archives and pulled vintage photos from them so that we could contrast contemporary photos with ones from the past and kind of show, you know, travelers that, you know, these are places that have been visited before, and to give a sense of we're not just the only visitors there, you know. There have been people who have been there before. There will be people who come after us, and we should be mindful of how we leave a destination. But what was great is that when we opened up our archives and looked for some of these pictures, I mean, some of these are really dramatic pictures. And they were no-brainers to put in the book. For example, there is a picture of a bison in Montana National Bison Range, and it looks like the photographer is about to get trampled by this bison bull because the picture looks like the photographer is maybe 4 inches away from this charging bull. Right. I don't know how they got this photo, but the photographer does say in the caption that the bull was actually not charging it at the photographer, but to another bull who is off to the side that we can't see in the picture. But pictures like that were just like no-brainers to put into the magazine, and I mean into the book. but there are other pictures where we wanted to include them because they're kind of rare. I'm thinking, for example, I'm trying to find it right now, of a picture that was taken in Nova Scotia of Alexander Graham Bell, who is a former president of the National Geographic Society, and he's the inventor of the telephone, and he had a summer home in Cape Breton in Nova Scotia. And this is a rare photo of him and his wife. They're kind of looking out to sea. It's kind of poignant because they were there to search for shipwrecked friends, because off the coast was very wild and there had been a shipwreck, and they were helping to search for survivors. And someone took the picture of both of them. It's just a very lovely picture. So that type of thing was also a no-brainer to put in.
And I got to tell you, like the picture that I have of these, what I find fascinating is how, the pictures are taken. Like, I'm holding up a picture of, it looks like, I want to say antelopes, but they don't have horns in them, some type of animal, but there's a herd of them. And, if the camera can show, there's this one guy right in the middle, and he has this red jacket on, and it almost looks like the animals are like, he's like right in the middle of them, and it's the graphics on this, the shot is just an amazing shot, and it looks like he's talking to a bunch of people here, telling them about these type of animals. It's just, you just don't see this type of stuff. Even on the internet, you don't see these type of pictures. You can't just, it's just beautiful, unbelievable.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because then, it just really shows the high quality and dedication of National Geographic photographers, that, like, every picture you see, there's a story that makes you want to look at it a little bit more. You don't just click on it to the next, picture of the photo gallery online, but you kind of stare at the photo, try to figure it out. How did they take this shot? What is this picture? What story is this picture telling,
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just fascinating. So, well, what is your favorite picture? I know you probably have many.
So many now that I've been looking at the book as I've been talking to various people today. There's a picture, actually it's near the front of the book, of Madagascar, a place in Madagascar where they have these limestone pinnacles that are so sharp that they look like, when you take the picture, it's kind of an aerial view, and it looks like a giant bed of nails.
Wow.
And these pinnacles are like razor sharp, and I would love to visit this place to see what it's like in person. That's really the one that draws me right now.
You know what it is because, these pictures in here, they come alive. Honestly, you flip through the average book, or you go on, you go onto the internet, and you find pictures, and they're just not alive. Honestly, like you described, they almost look like they're so sharp that they could cut you, and almost like you don't want to touch the page. That's how well these photos are shot. It's insane.
Right.
Like this Jasper National Park. Here's another one in the front of the book, and I don't know if you guys can see how blue that water is, and the way it's formed through the rocks. What I think it captures is, you're looking at this, and this is Mother Nature at its best. Over thousands of years, this was created, and you know what? You don't see people just walking around because it's kind of like that remote area. And these guys, like I said, they must be flying in from helicopters or hanging from cliffs to get these shots. It's amazing. So tell me a little bit, where they can find this book.
This book can be found, anywhere where books are sold, also online. It makes a great holiday present, I think. And also, for the graduation, if you're planning ahead, or a retirement party, it's got so many great bucket list ideas.
Okay. Well, Amy, I want to thank you so much for coming on to this special edition of Morning Coffee, extended Morning Coffee. We're in the afternoon now. But could you give, actually, one more time, someone just hit us up. Where can you get this book out again?
This book is out now.
It's out now in most of your bookstores. Anybody that, is around my age, I'm 50 years old, if people remember I won't name the names, but all the different books that, that National Geographic would put out, the little smaller magazines that come to your house, stuff like that, I got to tell you, this brings me back to my childhood, and I gotta be honest with you, you cannot find pictures like that anywhere like this book. So go out and grab it. I don't know how much it exactly costs, but it's well worth the buy. What is it?
$40.
$40. Well worth it right here, and a great present like Amy
Yes,
said.
definitely worth it.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you so much, Amy, for being on the show today. For you listeners out there, please check this book out. Go to your bookstore, check it out. I guarantee you'll flip through the first few